Unless you've been feigning ignorance or you just genuinely aren't aware, there have been a lot of things regarding Pokemon Sword and Shield floating around the internet for a while now. Am I gonna talk about it? No! But I will just say, as the internet cool kids would say, the tea is scalding. The mainline Pokemon games have always been the same rinse and repeat thing throughout the years. Kid gets a Pokedex and goes on a journey, fills out the entire Pokedex for the professor, collect all 8 gym badges and take on the Elite Four, and then the champion, and they eventually become the new champion. You'll have different rivals and friends, a team that tries to do evil but gets thwarted by a 10-year-old, and that's really about it. The only main thing they tend to change is a battle mechanic that they'll add into the new generation, but then not add it back in the next game. Sword and Shield is no different. Like I said, with the mainline Pokemon games, it's the same thing. You start your Pokemon adventure, you get a starter, the Pokedex, collect Pokemon, collect gym badges, defeat some bad team, then become the champion. But we're not gonna just end it there, because that'd be boring. Welcome to Potswick. Yeah, this looks about right. Welcome to Potswick, where we meet Hop, our friend and rival, and we'll end up going to Wedgehurst to find Leon, Hop's older brother and the undefeated champion in the Galar Region, and bring him home, because he gets lost easily. That's a reoccurring thing with Leon, actually. I guess it's supposed to be funny? I suppose? I don't really know. Instead of the professor giving you your starter Pokemon like normal in most Pokemon games, this time it's the Galar Region's champion giving you your Pokemon. After choosing your Pokemon and battling Hop, you'll go back to Wedgehurst and talk with Sonia, the professor's assistant. Get the Pokedex and go look for the professor. Was that plot progression? If you remember in X and Y when they brought Mega Evolution, we didn't know how to do it until maybe midway through the game, and we learned a bit about it as we progressed. But here, it's just 2 wishing stars conveniently landed in front of you and Hop, and the professor gives you wristbands so you can Dynamax. Oh, and we have no real idea what causes it, and that's what they're researching. Now, you can head to the tram and officially start your journey, heading straight to the wild area. The wild area is actually is a nice addition to the game, but I'll cover this entirely later. Once you get to Mototoske, however you want to pronounce it, this is where you can officially register for the gym challenge, and you can pick your own uniform number as well. Now, I could choose the funny weed number. No, that's unoriginal. Oh, how about the funny sex number? No, everyone would choose that. Funny one. Now the journey can begin, starting the gym challenge. The gym challenge is just a neat way of saying, go collect all 8 gym badges and try to become the champion. Like most Pokemon games, they just gave it an actual title called the gym challenge. Once your journey begins and you go to visit the gym stadiums,
I fear no man, but that thing, it scares me.
the gym stadiums are just, well, actual stadiums. If you remember back in previous games, it wasn't a stadium at all. It was like, if anything, in a way, it was an actual looking gym. But we made it stadiums for the theme of the location of where this region is based off of, I suppose. And each gym has a different type and a different puzzle. Milo, the grass gym leader, requires you to herd the Wooloo to the designated area while avoiding the Yamper. Nessa, the water gym leader, actually has you doing some pipe puzzle. Kabu, the fire gym leader, just wants you to catch or defeat Pokemon while fighting the gym trainers. Alistair's ghost type gym is like an amusement park. Opal's fairy type gym is more of a test. You'll be asked random questions, and if you answer them right, you'll get a stat boost. If you get them wrong, you'll get a stat drop. I'm glad Rule 34 exists. Melanie's Ice Gym challenge is annoying, like most Ice-type gyms. Navigating your way through this icy hell without falling through, and they end up adding mist in the last portion. Thanks, I appreciate that. Piers is technically the first Dark-type gym, since people don't count Nanu as a gym leader since there were no gyms in Sun and Moon. This challenge is just fighting Team Yell members. Raihan's Dragon Gym is like Piers' challenge, where you just battle trainers, but in this case, it's double battles, and it'll cover the champion battle soon. So after you beat Milo and go to the Galar mine, you'll run into Bed, cause why not? He'll verbally abuse you and move on after you beat him. After you get the first 3 gym badges from Mototosuke, I don't fucking know, you'll be able to head over to the next big city, Hammerlock. After you leave Mototosuke, oh my fuck. Bed shows up talking shit, per usual, and Hop decides to have a battle with him. Once you get to the Hammerlock gate, Bed shows up talking shit yet again. And just to cut it short, Hop got beat so bad that he ends up being in a depressive rut. Yeah. Not a lot really happens around this point. You just collect the remaining badges and proceed to go on to the championship stuff. There is, in fact, no victory road. There are only like 3 or 4 trainers that want to battle you, and there's also no Elite Four. But instead of an Elite Four, they made it an actual championship bracket with the quarterfinals and the semifinals. In the quarterfinals, you face off against Marnie, one of your other rivals that I didn't really decide to talk about because I forgot she existed actually. Yeah, Marnie. Once you beat her, you get to go up against Hop, and Hop has by far the best theme. After going through a depressive rut and pulling himself out of it, he finally has people chanting his name in his theme. He's done it, he made it to the big leagues. Unfortunately, we'd had to beat him. Feels bad, man. And the finals, if anything, is like a gauntlet against all the gym leaders to become the champion. After you finish beating Raihan, you'll be able to face off against Leon. Alright, there's a subplot about Dynamaxing in the Darkest Day. TLDR, Rose summoned a legendary Pokemon that is the actual cause of Dynamaxing since he wanted to preserve the life of the Galar region, even though it was fine for like thousands of years. Legendary heroes in the Darkest Day are basically the legendary dogs, and Bed committed terrorism. You fight Rose and he has an actual good theme, but I don't know why he has such a good theme. He's not even a good villain, he's just dumb. After beating Rose, you'll get to fight Eternatus with the legendary doggos. I'm pretty sure Gamefreak put more time into their signature attacks instead of anything else. You catch Eternatus, and then you can finally fight Leon. Leon's theme is pretty good, and his team is relatively annoying. He takes the starter that you and Hop decide to not take, and I then proceeded to Toxic Stall his Charizard, because why even try? It sure as hell doesn't seem like Gamefreak did. That's a joke. Don't take that seriously. I know exactly what to use this on. Like most Pokemon games, the gameplay is the same. Battle Pokemon and catch them, that's really about it. But they added in a new mechanic called Dynamaxing, or as I like to call, Kaiju form. They didn't start adding in new battle mechanics until X and Y with Mega Evolutions, and then in Sun and Moon they got rid of Mega Evolutions and added in Z-moves instead, then proceeded to get rid of Z-moves for Kaijus instead. With the Poke Kaiju, you're only in that form for 3 turns, and your moves are turned into max moves, which differ depending on the move's type. Alongside making your Pokemon turn into Kaijus, you're able to fight Kaijus as well with the max raid battles they added in the wild area, and you can catch them too. Now, you probably thought I was gonna do a loud explosion meme here, but I didn't. Anyways, if your Pokemon faints in Kaiju form, it'll... The wild area is actually really interesting. It's an interesting idea on paper, and just the concept in general. And it could have been executed maybe a tad bit better. Wild Pokemon tend to just... yeah, they do that. We all know about the infamous Minecraft tree. Some of the wild Pokemon just kind of spin around like they disconnected from the Wi-Fi, which is kind of buggy looking. Overall, the concept of it is nice. The wild Pokemon tend to be a higher level than you, so I wouldn't advise fighting them early on, and you can't catch them until you have a certain amount of badges, which isn't the end of the world, really. I also like the idea of having the Pokemon appear in the overworld, like Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu, and still having the normal wild encounters. That was a nice addition, and I hope if they make another Pokemon game, they keep that in the future, because I like that idea. They added in the Pokemon Camp feature, which is also a cute little way to increase your friendship with your Pokemon by playing with them, or even making curry and feeding them. It's a really cute feature and I like it a lot. The Pokemon designs are pretty much on the wacky side, which is bound to happen. Like, look at this phallic-shaped idiot. I love him. At the end of the day, Pokemon Sword and Shield is at most a relatively adequate game. It's not the best in the series. It could do better with some more tune-ups overall. Maybe if they spent a little bit more time on the game, it could have been a lot better. But I understand why they aren't able to normally spend more time than they want to. There's actually an entire Twitter thread that I found that would explain why they do a yearly release, and it makes sense. It doesn't justify or exemplify them from wanting to stop doing yearly releases, but it makes sense. The complaints overall were about, for the most part, it tied in with the hashtag Gamefreak lied thing, which, if you weren't aware, supposedly Gamefreak lied about not putting in all of the Pokemon because they were working on new animations and new models for the Pokemon, but apparently they didn't use new models whatsoever. They used the same ones from before. They just kind of look slightly better. And the whole new animations thing, they did have new animations. I think a lot of people were more focused on the one example being Double Kick, which is just this. This looks the same across every other Pokemon game. Is that justified? Should that be okay? Well, no. But that's only one example of a relatively lazy animation. Everything else looks relatively okay, in my opinion. I think everything else looks perfectly fine. Except maybe Coil. Coil's kind of dumb too, you just kind of spin around in a circle and then that's it. But the game's okay. I don't give it an IGN rating of like 8 or 9 or whatever out of 10. It's maybe a 6 out of 10 to be honest. If anything, it's okay. It's not the greatest, it could do better. If they make another installment of Sword and Shield, which could be, who knows when, maybe another Sword and Shield release next year, I don't freaking know. But we'll see. Yeah, the game was okay. There's a lot of back and forth about it, but I think it's okay. That's really it for Sword and Shield. There's not much else, honestly. So, hope you enjoyed this little long thing regarding Sword and Shield. Have a great rest of the year, and I'll catch you guys whenever I decide to actually make another video. Later.